Happy Friday, guys. Today is May 1st, and this is for Math 1. Today we're continuing with our graphing systems of inequalities. We're just doing part 2. Technically, there's nothing new today, but I do want to look at one specific situation, and then I will just do a second one just to make sure everybody's okay. All right? So let's go and look at our first inequality here. All right? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to graph it, right? Just like regular line. Now, I'm going to do the blue one first just because that's one we definitely know how to graph. So it says +1, so that means I'm going to start on a 1 as the y-intercept right here. And then the slope is 2, which is 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. Or I could do -2 divided by -1, which is still +2. So down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. And then notice it's equal to, so it's going to be a solid line. Okay. All right. Okay. Like so. All right. And I'll go ahead and test a point to see which way to shade for that one. Okay, so I'll pick 0, 0, just to make it easier on myself here. 0, 0. So I'm going to plug in 0, 0 here. 0 is greater than or equal to 2 times 0 plus 1. And 2 times 0 is 0. So 0 is greater than or equal to 1. 0 is not greater than or equal to 1, so that's false. I'm going to shade on the opposite side. Now, I'm not going to do the actual shadings because remember how we talked about yesterday. So I'm just going to write down, I'll make little arrows to show myself if I was shading, I would shade on that part of the line because it was false. So I don't want to shade on the side where 0, 0 is. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and graph the other one. Y is greater than or equal to 2. Now I want to notice, first of all, this 2 doesn't have an x. So that means that's a y-intercept. So I would go up 2, make a point. Now notice there's no x. That means my slope is 0. There is no slope. So if my slope is 0, remember we always talked about if I'm walking straight across on a regular floor, straight across, that takes 0 effort. So that means to graph y a slope of 0, I would graph it straight across like this through the y-intercept of 2. Okay, so I'm going to go straight across at 2, and it is equal to, so it's going to be a solid line. Okay, like so. Okay, and then again, I'm going to test a point. You can test any point you want. I can use 0, 0 again because it's not on the line. That's fine. So I'll try 0, 0 again in this one. So substitute 0 in for y. There is no x, so I don't substitute that in. So is 0 greater than or equal to 2? No, it is not. So I don't want to shade on the side where 0, 0 is. I want to shade on the opposite side. So that's going up this way. So now you have to look for the region that has the arrows pointing inward. So here there's one arrow pointing inward, but not over here. This region down here, neither of them are pointing inward. This one, the blue one's pointing inward, but the purple one's not. This one, see, the blue one's pointing inward, and so is the purple one. So this, it's always going to be like kind of like a triangular region. This region right here is going to be our solution region. Just like that. And there's our solution. Okay. So I just wanted to remind you guys about what happens when you don't have a slope, when there's no x in there, then that means it's going to be straight across horizontal because there's 0 slope. Okay, let's do another one. This is just a regular one, but it's just to remind you so everybody knows what they need to do. Okay, so let's start by graphing our first one. Notice that the y-intercept, there's nothing, it doesn't say plus anything. That means it's plus 0. So I'm going to start at 0. And then -2 over 5, change in y over change in x. So I'm going to go down 2, right 5. Or I could put the negative on the bottom and leave the positive as the top. So up 2 and left 5. Notice it's an equal to, so it is going to be a solid line again. Okay, straight across. All right. And then we can test a point. Notice this time I can't pick 0, 0 because 0, 0 goes through it. It's easier if you pick something on the y-axis. So for example, let's just use this one. Let's use 0, 2. So I'm going to substitute that in here. So y is 2 and x is 0. Anything times 0 is 0. That's why I like to use that. So is 2 less than or equal to 0? No, it's not. So I don't want to shade on this side. I want to shade going down this way. I'm just going to make myself some arrows to remind myself to shade down. Okay, same with the other one. So y is less than x. Again, there's no y-intercept here. That means that your y-intercept is 0. So I'm starting again at 0. And then remember, when there's no number in front of the x, that's a 1. So it's 1 over 1. It's positive. So I'm going to go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, all the way across. Or I could do a negative divided by a negative, down 1, left 1, still positive 1, all the way across. And notice this one doesn't have an equal to, so it's going to be dashed. Okay, like so. And again, I need to pick a point either on this side of the line or on this side of the line. It doesn't matter. I'll just do this one down here just so I don't get confused. So this is 0, negative 2. I'm going to substitute that in here. So my negative 2 is my y, less than, and my x is 0. So is negative 2 less than 0? Yes, it is. So that means I want to shade on the side where this is. So that's this side of the line going this way. Okay, so this region up here, you can see there's 4 regions. So there's that one, neither arrow is pointing inward. There's this one, the blue arrow is pointing inward, but the purple arrow is pointing the opposite way. There's this one, purple arrow is pointing inward, but the blue arrow is pointing the opposite way. And then there's this one down here where both arrows are pointing inwards, the blue right here and the purple over here. So that's going to be my region right there where my solution is. So right in here, it's like always kind of like a triangular region. This is going to be my solution region. And there is my final graph. If you have any questions, again, feel free to let me know. Remind Google Classroom or email. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to help. Have a great day, guys.